Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I'm doing another Women of Horror Spotlight. Today I have with us, she's an author, and she has a new book out right now. You can get it through Cemetery Dance or even through Amazon, and it's called Love is a Crematorium. I love that. As a mortician, you know I love that title. I have with us Mercedes Yardley. Mercedes, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
It's a pleasure having you on. Now, tell us a little about Love is a Crematorium.
Yeah, so it's a collection of short stories. They're very beautiful and very dark. They're very sad. My mother won't read it. And it's just about love in its different forms. So whether it's romantic love or familial love, but always with that bite because, you know, love is hard. It hurts. So yeah, so I'm exploring that a little bit. It was just really fun.
Now, how long did it take you to get all of these this collection of short stories together?
You know, I've been publishing them in different places. So there's some that they're old and probably have already been published, and there's some that we're doing. So I would say once I decided to do it, I was like, I wonder how many short stories I have that I could use in a collection. It pulled together really quickly because I do more short stories than I do novels. So I had them floating around. I would say it pretty quick. Once I decided to do it, I had it ready in like 2 months to go. And then of course the querying and all of that's what takes a while. But yeah, they were just at the ready.
Now, which short story, is there a short story? What's the longest, a short story that you have in there that's the longest that you've done it years ago? I should say.
Let's see, that I did the longest time ago. I'm thinking there's one called Water Thy Bones that came out in like Michael Bailey and Doug Morano's Gutted, probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, maybe is the oldest one. And that was, that feels like forever ago in author's terms, you know?
I can imagine, yeah.
Back when I was a child, like that came out.
But it must be amazing to I mean, do you like get to read your short stories when you put them in this collection and be like, wow, how much I've changed as an author, how much my style has changed, how much I've matured as a writer? Yeah,
it's really fun. Once I publish my work, I don't read it again. I don't tend to read it again or listen to the audiobook or anything unless I have to put a collection together or I'm doing a reading, because it's just kind of, I don't know, not embarrassing, but it's like, I don't know, it's like looking at old artwork and just being like,
yeah.
I would change everything in this if I could, even if you think it's really good and it is really good, you want to change everything. So yeah, it's like going through a time vault in some ways. And I'll be like, oh, those are the words that I used all the time, like exquisite or demure, which, now demure is everywhere, but I said demure before demure was demure, and just kind of seeing like the things you say, or, like I was obsessed with this visual at the time, or I just can't stop waxing on about this idea, because I think you write to find out what you're obsessed with, right? You write to find out what you're processing and what you think about things. And like reading it later, I'll be like, oh, I was really kind of fixated on people losing their children at this time, or I was really fixated on like the sadness of a love that doesn't work out, or death, always fixated on death, right? That's always a great subject. So it was kind of funny to go back and read things that kind of like, oh, you sweet summer child, you just were working through a lot of stuff, weren't you? Or flowers. I like to write about flowers a lot. So all the things will have bones and flowers. That's kind of a theme that came up through this collection that I wouldn't have thought.
Now, when it comes to, I mean, listen, your book literally just came out.
Yes.
Is it exciting, or are you a little nervous every time a new book comes out?
It's exciting, but it is really nerve-wracking, because you think, okay, I wrote this thing and I put my soul in it, and is anybody going to read it? And then if anybody reads it, are they going to like it, or are you going to get that hate mail? Because I get a lot of hate mail, right? They're like, you exist and I hate that. Or you're a woman and I hate that even more. Or sometimes it's even about the book, but usually not. So it is nerve-wracking, and it feels like opening yourself up to criticism that will come, just because suddenly you're out there in the world, whereas before you were just kind of sitting back. But it's also, every time a book comes out, it is so exciting, and you get to call your mom and be like, Mom, I did something good. Are you proud of me? And, you know, and I have kiddos and they like to bring my book to school and like show their friends. And so it's kind of cool to be like, to look forward to it that way, you know, and have something new, put something new on the shelf, you know, and see your books all lined up is just a really great feeling. I hope that never goes away. I hope I never become so used to it that I'm like, oh yeah, another book. It's another Friday. As of right now, it's like, you know, just really exciting. You want to talk about it all the time. You want to wear a t-shirt with your book cover on it or whatnot. That's how I feel still.
Now, do you pay attention to reviews? Because I mean, listen, I try to look at the comments and sometimes they're brutal, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to attack back. I mean, but do you pay attention to your reviews?
I do and I don't. It depends. I will have reviews if people are saying the same thing, like this wasn't well written, or this didn't make sense to me, or this kind of, I don't understand this. I'll take that and be like, okay, if like, you know, 200 people are saying this, then obviously that's something I need to, going forward, you know, make sure that I don't misstep or whatnot. But most of them have nothing to do with me and have nothing to do with my books. So I have this book. I have it right here. I'll just show you. So I have this book that came out. It's my last one. It's called Darling. And it's about a woman it's a Southern Gothic. And it's a woman and her children. One of her children has special needs. My son, who is 21, has Williams syndrome and autism. And I write about him a lot, right? He's a part of my life. I mean, I write about him. And a person with his syndrome was one of her children in this book. No plot point reason for it. No, like it was all built around his disability. He just exists like my son exists. And so he's in the book because my son exists and, well, you know, was in the book. And I had like the craziest reviews and so many people that were like offended that there was a special needs child in there, thought I was like virtue signaling by having a special needs child in there. My favorite one that I showed to all my family was, this woman knows nothing about people with special needs because she didn't even say what the name of his syndrome was. And I was like, okay, you guys, it's Williams syndrome and autism. But yeah. Okay. So like these could have been really, and that one made me mad a little bit. Like I was like, oh, come on, you know, but then it was like, okay, I'm over it. So it can make you mad and it can kind of mess with your day a little bit. But also I think I'm at the point now where I'm realizing it doesn't have anything to do with me, you know, or they're upset at something that they're upset at in their life. And this maybe triggered that, but I don't react. I don't, you know, respond. Like you never respond to reviews, right? Even if you're in your heart, you're like, you're so wrong. And that was the dumbest review you could have possibly said. And why would you say that? But yeah, so you don't react and don't respond, but I tend to not read them so much. People will, oh, hey, you should read this one because it has like some good information. Or they'll be like, you know, stay away from this one because this person's a crackpot and, you know, wants to murder you. So we're trying to get that taken down. But yeah, it's crazy. And reviews are just kind of a weird place that I don't think authors really should go. Like authors shouldn't be on Goodreads. Goodreads, yeah. I feel, is only for the readers, right? I'm on Goodreads as a reader where I'm like, I love this book, or this book I didn't like it quite as much. But authors, we need to. That's not our tundra. That's not our place. We need to be.
I can definitely imagine. Yeah. As a YouTube creator, like I have to respond to my comments, even because what it does is it increases the engagement and the algorithm for YouTube to promote my stuff. But more likes, more comments, even if they're bad ones. But I always comment back. Someone said, "Oh, your show sucks. You're ugly," or something like that. I'm like, "Oh, thank you for watching my show and thank you for supporting." I just do that because at the end of the day, you still watch my video, which means that's money in my pocket. So thank you.
Good for you. It's good for you. I'll have to try that. Thank you for reading my book. I loved seeing it burnt on a pyre. That was great. You know,
exactly. I mean, they still bought your books. I mean, at the end of the day,
I'm delighted. Thank you.
Thumbs up. Yep. So you've been doing this for a while now. What got you into horror writing?
You know, that's really funny. I was always, horror has such a stigma. I always wrote. I was always kind of a dark little girl, right? But I was also raised in a very small faith-based town, very small religious community where horror was like a bad word. You didn't, invite things like that. So I always wrote, but I always kind of had that, I want to say almost toxic positivity, because I was like, and then the demon was like, I'm vanquished, goodbye, or whatever. I don't know, things that I wrote as a child. It wasn't until I'd say about 15 years ago, I was like, started writing seriously. And when I kind of realized that I was falling into the horror genre, I was just terrified. Just what am I doing here? No one's going to read my books. They're going to kick me out of church. My soul is sold, or whatever. And I just got more comfortable with it. I believe in the redemptive aspects of horror. I believe horror, good people write horror. I'm actually teaching a class at a college. They asked me to come speak at a college about horror and like what it's like being a mainstream nice person writing horror, because everyone thinks that horror people are just like murderers all the time, or we're just crazy, or we just write sick things, and they don't realize that we are multifaceted and have like lives and kindness, and people in the horror industry are the kind of the most well-adjusted people I think I've ever met, honestly, except for the dramas that go on. Yes. But when it comes to like maintaining lives and things like that, like we get it all out on the page, right? It's therapy. We talk about the things that are scaring us. We're very open to discussion. We don't like mask it. And I like that. I like that we're like, okay, during the pandemic, everyone was writing about the pandemic, right? And we were just processing it in that way. So I just got out of my own way. I was like, this is what I like to write, and it's horror, and there we go. So I just shut myself up. I shut sweet little me up, who had like learned all this like negative baggage about what my soul wants to write. And I think I'm much lighter for it. I feel better for it.
And what's great about writing horror is you can put whatever dark shit you want in it. Like there's no one censoring you. Like when you're a filmmaker, I can't think of the name. Yeah. But the board is so like so many great horror movies are not great horror movies because they were heavily censored. You have to take this out. You have to take that out. This is too offensive for people. And like, thank God. I mean, recently, the last couple of years, it's not that way anymore. But there was a time that horror movies, especially, were attacked, and they're and it messed up with the creativity of the actual filmmaker. But horror authors, I love horror books because there is no. I mean, you can put trigger warnings on there, but there's no censor. You can actually put what's in your mind on it.
Yeah, I love it. We get into some dark stuff, right? There's some terrible, deliciously disgusting, dark, horrifying things that we just get to. And you're right. We don't have to dance around it. It's how we choose to present it, and having that choice means everything, right? Like I could go like right into it as dark as I want, as graphic as I want, or I can, use beautiful language and have things happen off screen. But it's not like a movie where I love the freedom of it. I feel like it's the most free genre in that way. I was talking to a friend that wrote like a thriller, and she was very big publisher, went international. And she was saying she had 2 editors, and she said she would like to go back to the small press because she wants the book that she writes to actually be the book that comes out, because they had to like sand off the edges for this, or you need to hit this audience, and your audience is like, older women at home, stay at home. And just, she's like, here was her book. It was all jagged. And by the time it came out, it was this like really sanitized thing. And she lost her soul in that. So, yeah. And I'm like, in horror, we just can be like, yeah, everybody dies gruesomely, and here's how.
Yes.
And then I love it. It's so free.
Now you actually brought up something about the bickering and the fighting amongst the indie horror community. What the hell is going on in face?
What was that?
I said, what the hell is going on right now in indie horror? There's so much bickering and fighting and this and that, sexual assault cases and this and that. And it's like, it's been recently, like, what's going on? A spate. We're cannibalizing ourselves, and I don't know where this is coming from. Like, there's different pockets, right? And the people that are always going to cause drama, but there are people causing drama that I didn't think would be causing drama. Like, yeah, because they actually have a name. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you're like, person A always causes drama, but person B came out of the woodwork to cause like major drama. And I was like, I didn't expect you. I expected person A to be doing those. It's insane.
It is insane. And I'm sitting at my computer and, you know, my husband comes home from work and he's like, how's today? And I'm like, you would not believe. And it's people he knows. And it's, you know, and it's just, it's fascinating to see someone not in these circles. Cause my husband is just, he's so not in these circles, just be like, what's going on there? You know, and to see an outsider's view of it, he's like, someone just lit a match. It's just, it's crazy. It is crazy. If there's something going on, it's not even every week anymore. It's like every 2 days, something new.
It's
I can't keep
literally up. Every 2 days. I can't keep up with either. And like, But I think I was talking to somebody and they were saying indie horror creators, right? They don't have no one to account for. There's no big publishing house or no big movie studio who is telling them, hey, this is how you have to present yourself in a professional manner outside of doing your work. And I don't think there's no one governing them. So they're like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm going to go ahead and post some. I
think you're right. I mean, sometimes you'll see an agent be like, shh, 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 tone it down, you know, but that's like it. That's it.
They don't have an agent. I mean, I've even seen authors like post like on their professional page in these groups talking about, oh my goodness, I found out that my boyfriend was cheating on me. I'm gonna slice his tires. And I'm like, but you're a professional. Why are you posting this on your professional? I have 2 pages. I have my horror realm and I have Travis Bruce. To be honest, I don't post anything on either one if it's like related to my show. And it's because I know now that I'm a public figure, quote unquote. I got to float a different way. You know what I mean? I cannot say, oh my goodness, I hate Donald Trump. I can't say that. I cannot say, I got to stay neutral and just be boom, 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 because I never ever want to offend any of my audience.
Right. And isn't that hard because we're in this genre because we are such passionate people with such strong opinions. And then to be all like, I see what you're saying and I see what you're saying is really hard. Like I will come home and like,
hard.
You know, my family gets everything, but online again, yeah, it's hard and you're recorded, right? So if you say something, there's screenshots, there are the receipts. We're all learning that we should do that, you know, now and take receipts of all these things. It's crazy. It is there's so much drama. I feel like the work is just getting like pushed to the side.
Yeah.
It's just popcorn city. And then the people that are just like living for it to watch it, you know, like
people love it.
Up. Yeah. And I don't love it. It stresses me out. And I'm like, okay, this person's not going to be writing anymore because they just like, where are my books going?
And I hate it too, because like I might have interviewed someone 2 weeks ago and now that's up. And then somebody said, oh, well, you know, this person is a rapist now. You got to take this rapist down. And I'm like, I don't know if this person's been convicted of, you know what I mean? Like now I'm in a bad situation where I'm like, well, do I take it down or do I keep it up? But this person hasn't been found guilty. So like, why? I mean, you know what I mean? You're just in a bad situation where I get a lot of hate mail because you still have this video up with this person and this person has been accused but not convicted of sexual assault. But what do you do?
Yeah.
What if this person is found not guilty and you done took them down? Then you done did something, you know? I mean, it's just tough.
Yeah, it is really hard. I'm a believer in like proof.
I am too. I gotta see proof.
You know, like show me the police report. Show me show me that this person has been convicted, and then 1,000%. But I don't know. It is so hard because you want to believe victims, but then not everyone is a victim that says they're a victim.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, and I've seen both sides of that, people that have genuinely not done anything and weren't even there be like torn apart. And I said something about that. Oh geez. 10 years ago about something. I was like, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. There's a medical reason that I know this didn't happen. I got torn apart. I was on like, people were talking about me on the radio shows. I was I'm a nobody, you know, I'm a nobody in all of this. Like, but it was like, I got death threats. People sent pictures of my children with like blood photoshopped on their faces. And like, that was the last time I kind of ever said anything publicly about anything. Like, I know he didn't do this. Like, I
don't say nothing. Either way.
Yeah.
I don't say nothing either way. Because you watch someone like Kevin Spacey or even Johnny Depp, their whole career has been completely And listen, I just found out recently that I was like, why is Kevin Spacey at a horror convention? I found out that he was found not guilty for the whatever he did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, most people don't know that. Most people think that Kevin Spacey is a child molester. He was found not guilty. And like, because once someone's accused of something, people just stick that in their mind and they never ever follow through to see if that person was found not guilty or not. Right. They're just labeled as that, and it could just ruin someone's career.
Right. And lives. And I've seen suicides because of it. And yeah, I don't know what we're doing to ourselves. It is like,
it's just weird. I'm somebody from the outside, and I'm watching you guys. I'm like, what the hell is going on over here? I mean, I love art, but I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's insane. I don't know. It has to be a plague. It's contagious. It's just seriously like every other day there's something going on, and I can't keep up with it. You know,
it's literally every other day.
And the whisper networks and the vagueness of some of it sometimes, like,
yes.
And my least favorite thing, your silence speaks volumes, but we're not going to tell you what you're being silent about, what we're talking about, what was accused, you know, who, but your silence. And I'm like, silence on what? Like, you know, I don't want to be like, yeah, that was totally right, wrong. You know, if you don't know the situation, it's crazy. So you say something and you're taken down. You don't say something and you're taken down. You sit and write your books and they're like, no, you should be out here like burning things. It's nuts. But it's also, you know, that mindset, I guess, is conducive to horror because it does bring that tension that you need to write. I don't say
nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing about P. Diddy on my social media or here, but I have my own personal things. But I would never ever post it on social media because there's a lot of people who aren't. At the end of the day, the guy has not been proven guilty. So like, I have to stop for a second and be like, okay, this is probably what it is, but until somebody's proven guilty and you see evidence and all this stuff, it's a witch hunt at that point.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's terrible to wait and find out, but you have to wait and find out. You can't just...
Now, listen, I have my suspicions from what I've heard and seen, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that on social media or anywhere because I do not want to. I know probably a lot of my fans are probably P. Diddy fans on his side. So I never ever want to put that wedge between my audience. You know, I don't want to lose audience members just because of my political beliefs or anything. So I stay neutral when it comes to topics like that. That's what you got to do as a professional. You really do. That's why I don't understand actors who come out and say, "Oh, I'm a Trump supporter," this and that. No, just be quiet. Just be quiet because you alienate yourself. Because now people are not going to. Some people are not going to ever watch your movie again just because you said that, and they could have been a big fan of yours. And it sucks. That's the way society is now, but it is. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's true. That's smart of you. It's
But yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on it because I've seen it, and I just wanted to say, what the hell's going on?
Oh man. It's so bad.
It is. It's bad. It's bad.
It's like nobody's safe to talk to. You know,
no one. You just gotta say nothing. I mean, you just gotta be professional 100% of the time. Especially as a man, you gotta be You gotta just be professional 100% of the time because you could be completely innocent, but it's also the way people interpret things. Everybody interprets certain things differently. You just got to be 100% professional all the time.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. Mercedes, where can everyone find you?
I am on Facebook, Mercedes Murdoch Yardley. I'm on Twitter a little bit at Mercedes MY, Insta Mercedes MY, and my blog is mercedesmyardley.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, do you want to share with us who you're voting for? Or I'm joking, Mercedes.
I'm going to tell you the secrets, and I want it recorded.
I'm going to say no one knows nobody truly, put it assume who I'm voting for. No one knows who I'm voting for. And I'm keeping that absolute secret. That's my own personal business. All right. Well, listen, everyone, please go over to Amazon and Cemetery Dance and grab your copy of Love is a Crematorium.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Follow Mercedes. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Mercedes Yardley. We'll see you next time. Take care.